Dr Shane Retty.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It's a pleasure to take the final call on this bill, and I too would like to acknowledge the sponsor, my colleague Chris Bishop, for his tenacity and hard work on this bill. I'd also like to acknowledge the Health Select Committee for their excellent guidance that gets it here today through to its third reading. Mr Speaker, for this contribution I want to specifically acknowledge the pioneers in the transplant space who give us the ability to undertake the functions that this bill seeks to encourage. Now, prior to 1954 and through the 1900s, live organ transplants were being explored. They were usually kidney transplants. However, recipients only lived for a day or maybe several weeks because we didn't understand the immune system. We didn't understand graft-host rejection. We have to remember it was 1953 that Watson and Crick discovered the double helix, so it was all very new. Now, on December 23rd, 1954, at Peter Bent Brigham Hospital in Boston, the first successful live organ donor operation occurred. Now, Peter Bent Brigham was established in 1913 and through various mergers and amalgamations with Harvard-affiliated hospitals became what it is today, Brigham Women's Hospital. Now, for 7 years, my clinical appointment was just across the road at a place called Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital, and so many times I've had the privilege of being in Brigham Women's. Mr Speaker, on December the 22nd, 1954, 23-year-old Richard Herrick is lying in his hospital bed at Peter Bent Brigham, and he's dying. He's dying of kidney failure. He needed a kidney. In the room next door was his brother, Ronald Herrick, and Ronald was going to donate his kidney the next day. Now, Ronald wasn't just an ordinary brother, if you could have just an ordinary brother. See, Ronald was his identical twin, because what they figured at that stage that there was something about sameness, something about being similar, something about similar immune systems seemed to make a difference. And they'd actually tested this hypothesis. So they fingerprinted both Richard and Ronald to make sure they were identical twins. And then prior to the procedure, several months before, they'd actually taken skin grafts of both of the brothers, swapped them aside, and the skin grafts took. So they had every indication that maybe the surgery would take as well. So on December 23rd, 1954, in operation room number 2 at Peter Bent Brigham Hospital, a kidney from Ronald Herrick was given to his failing brother, Richard Herrick. Remember, I said at that point in time, people with kidney transplants were living for maybe days to weeks because of graft-host rejection. Well, Richard got 8 more years of life, and his brother Ronald lived through until 89. Dr. Joseph Murray, who undertook the procedure that day, he got a Nobel Prize for his work. So as well as acknowledging my colleagues here today, Mr. Speaker, I also want to say thank you. Thank you to the pioneers of history who give us this opportunity to bring forward this bill that gives life to others. So, Mr. Speaker, I commend this action to New Zealanders, and it's a pleasure to commend this bill to the House.
Members, this debate has concluded. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it.
Compensation for Live Organs Donors Bill, third reading.
Call on